Good afternoon, welcome to Quays News. Coming up in today's programme,
we give you the latest from the Conservative Party conference in Manchester.
We take a look at the 35-year-old trains still rattling their way through Salford.
And how the University of Salford is tackling mental health with their students.
Good afternoon, this is Quays News. I'm Lucy Clayton.
And I'm Will Dixon. Welcome back to our first show of the year.
Now, the Tories are in town as the Conservative Party arrived in Manchester on Sunday.
I think a lot of bandwidth has been taken up with Brexit when other things are probably more important. Housing, the NHS, getting more police officers onto the streets, and that can't really be done until we deliver Brexit. So I think it's quite a good marketing move to just really focus in on what we want to get solved.
The government and the authorities knew a lot about Salman Abedi, the bomb, and still did nothing. There's an estimated 20 to 23,000 possible jihadis on the watch list. I don't want them in our country.
So now we are joined by our political correspondent, Joe Wilmot, to tell us what has been going on. So Joe, it's been an eventful few days.
Yeah, it has been very, very eventful. It's been a relatively good conference for the Prime Minister in terms of policy, not so much in terms of PR. He's had quite a few thick of it moments. One of them being the most notable, which actually started trending on Twitter, was the no disposable cups. He was walking through the conference, cameras were following him, an aide passed him a cup of coffee in a disposable cup, and it was snatched out of his hand immediately by another aide, who was then heard saying no disposable cups. People have been saying that this was because of their green environmental policy. I've actually spoken to someone who's actually very close to the Prime Minister, and they've said that it's more of a safety thing. They're not actually, he's not actually allowed to drink out of a disposable cup in the fear that someone might poison him, so he's only allowed to drink out of mugs. He's also not been doing any interviews with Channel 4. Jacob Rees-Mogg is the only person that's spoken to Christian Guru Murthy. And he also ducked out of a live interview with Piers Morgan and Susanna Reid on Good Morning Britain yesterday morning as well. And he's also been faced with allegations of misconduct, which have kind of bogged down his interviews throughout the entire conference.
So talking about the conference, could you tell me a little bit about the atmosphere? What was it like down there?
So the atmosphere is very different to that of Labour's. A friend of mine who went down to the Labour conference in Brighton last week said that there was very much a sense of anger in the air. Labour's conferences are very serious places to be. Lots of important decisions are made, policies are spoken about. It is very, very serious. The Conservative Party conference is very different. Someone said to me that it's very much just a social gathering, and everyone just sort of seems to be drinking quite a lot. People were drinking from Sunday morning when I was there in the hotel. So Sir Geoffrey Clifton Brown, who is an MP, was actually kicked out of the Conservative Party conference after clashing with security. He tried to get his wife into the International Lounge, which requires a separate badge. He had the badge, but his wife did not, and he ended up clashing with the security there, and it caused the event to go into lockdown after sort of a security breach, and he was asked to leave by the Conservative Party as well.
Right. And I hear that you had a bit of a run-in with someone from the left.
I did, yes. I was doing a Facebook Live in St Peter's Square, which is the designated protest area, and as I was walking past, I was shouted at by a member from the left. We've actually got a clip of that. Let's take a look at that now.
Do I support the far right?
I'm asking, do you support the far right?
I'm a journalist. I don't affiliate, I'm afraid. Sorry. Man just asked me if I support the far right. I think he was looking for a fight because I'm in blue.
That does happen quite a lot. If you were wearing a blue lanyard or wearing a blue suit, people just assumed you're a Conservative, so they would try and cause an argument with you. Finally, Liz Truss, the International Trade and Development Secretary, did a speech in GAY last night. The LGBT Conservatives had hired out GAY in Manchester on Canal Street, which, considering I'm in there every Saturday, drinking quite a lot, that is a very odd place to see the International Trade and Development Secretary, UK Minister in GAY, surrounded by drag queens and drag acts as well. But it was a nice way to close the event. All in all, a good event for Boris Johnson.
Brilliant. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right now, Salford Crescent railway station is served by over 300 trains per day, but not all of them make for a comfortable ride. 35-year-old converted buses still ferry passengers as far as Blackburn, Southport and Clitheroe, leaving passengers only to wonder what the future holds for Manchester's railways. Oliver Yode has more.
Salford Crescent is a small, calm station. Despite large passenger numbers, the station remains tranquil, even at peak times. But this does not last for long, however, as is proven by this relic of the 1980s as it thunders its way into the platform.
Behind me is a Class 142 Pacer train, but to you or me they may be known as cattle trucks, bone rattlers, or more appropriately, a bus on rails. But what is it that passengers find so daunting about a ride on one of these purple behemoths?
They're awful.
And why are they awful?
They're slow, they're old, they're never on time.
Mate, it's not the type of thing you'd find in London, but that's to be expected.
Sort of not taken care of at all.
Perhaps the issue with Pacers is that they've been taken care of a little too much. These trains actually started their lives as Leyland buses, but during the 1980s, in a spell of great financial uncertainty in the British rail industry, the buses were welded to the chassis of freight trains, given a lick of paint and sent on their way. An agreement reached between Northern and the Department for Transport in 2015 promised that by this point there would only be 4 remaining Pacer carriages. But, at least at Salford Crescent, there is certainly no shortage. A key reason for the removal of these trains is that they failed to comply with a new EU accessibility law due to take effect in January 2020. However, many are still in service in Greater Manchester alone, with Northern announcing in September that some will remain in service until May 2020, leaving wheelchair users unable to use the onboard toilet facilities. There is still a light at the end of the tunnel for passengers, however. The line through Salford Crescent was recently electrified, and since February 2019, it has been served by smoother, greener trains, which run entirely on electricity. And as brand new trains are starting to be seen around Salford, it seems as though there's a chance that public transport may get back on track.
Now, starting university can be daunting for anyone. According to Young Minds, 1 in 6 young people aged 16 to 24 display symptoms of common mental health disorders such as depression or anxiety. Our reporter Ellie took to Peel Park Quarter to find out more.
We also spoke to a member of staff who are here to give their advice.
The School of Arts and Media, and we are the first point of contact for students in our school. We mainly provide non-academic support.
And if you could give any advice to first years or people preparing to start university, what would it be?
My advice would be try and meet as many people as you can. Go to the union, see what clubs and societies there are.
University can be...
Last Saturday, the UK's first and largest vintage kilo sale came to Manchester. This year is their 10-year anniversary partnership with Glass Onion Vintage. They also provided retro clothes from the 70s up to the 2000s, with the objective to recycle unused retro clothes, selling them by their weight.
And speaking of fashion...
This weekend, the Stylist Live Event 2019 came to Trafford Centre in Manchester. The catwalk showcased styles for autumn and winter that can be purchased from the shopping centre. Lucy Fieldhouse went to the event to find out more.
Keep watching to see how the Trafford Centre went from this to this.
Lucy Fieldhouse reporting from the Trafford Centre in Manchester at today's Stylist Live event.
Various members of the fashion show team gave me a rundown of their role at the event.
Well, today we brought Stylist Live to Manchester. So Stylist magazine is bringing autumn-winter catwalk shows to the escalators in the shopping centre, and we've got little pop-ups for people to come and enjoy and try fashion out for themselves.
So we're not a beauty artist. Our role at Stylist Live is we do the hair and the makeup for all the models that you see on this beautiful catwalk. So we actually have a really fantastic job actually.
I have a business designing stock accessories. So yeah, I'm just here basically to showcase my collections and reach a new sort of region.
So we're working on the Naked stand. So Naked is a healthy snacking brand. It's just fruits and nuts smushed together. So we are displaying all of our 16 flavours of our fruit and nut bars.
I also asked members of the public to describe the event in 3 words and give me their opinion.
Attitude, femininity, and I'm trying to think of the last one. Attitude, femininity, and I want to say diversity, because there's been some good diversity on the catwalk, but I would also give a shout out to the fact that there were no physically disabled models there, so maybe next year, but we'll go with diversity, but to be improved.
I thought it was very good. I thought it was very good, yeah. Obviously in the limited space that they've got to do this sort of thing, I thought it was very good.
It was great to hear how passionate local people are about fashion.
It's individuality, I think. There isn't one box. I don't think fashion is one box. It's various boxes, and you don't have to fit into that box. Fashion now, you could be something from the 60s, and wear something from the 60s, it's coming in back. It's fashion from the 70s, it's coming back. That's what I think fashion means, yeah.
Lucy Fieldhouse, Quays News.
Manchester Food and Drink Festival returns this week with a number of different cuisines suited to all tastes. Beth and Edwards went down to see what was on offer.
Manchester Food and Drink Festival has been running since 1998. This year, the festival has moved from Albert Square to Cathedral Gardens and has a variety on offer.
It's got great beer, great music, the food is fantastic, it's a really good range. We've got Camden lagers here, we've got about 65 ales on this weekend in itself. So if you like a real ale, this is the place to be.
As well as food and drink, there are a variety of bands playing across the festival.
This is the 3rd year that we got invited to take part to the festival. So we did it like the last couple of years in Albert Square, and we had a blast. It was great. So this is the 3rd, we established a sort of good working relationship with the organisers.
I spoke to members of the public and they explained why they decided to attend the event.
We have a lot of this in Denmark, so why not try it in England?
We're just having great food. It's absolutely delicious, fantastic.
I ended up just seeing it and coming in and just trying some of the food, and it's been a good day so far.
I spoke to Festival Director Alexa Stratton-Powell about the traders on offer here.
We have lots of brands and street food traders who return every year, of which we love that they want to come back, but we also make sure that we have new traders to make sure that everything feels different every year.
The festival has live cooking shows with professional chefs on offer each day.
Just to show off some good fresh fish and some good dishes that we do at 20 Stories.
Manchester Food and Drink Festival has been running for 22 years. It's previously had 90,000 people attend, and they're hoping for even more this year. The Food and Drink Festival will be running for 11 days, from the 26th of September to the 7th of October, so there's plenty of time to come and check it out. This is Bethan Edwards, Quays News.
Well, that made me really hungry watching that one.
Definitely.
Do you have a favourite cuisine yourself, Lucy?
Ooh, I would say I like Asian food, yeah, Chinese.
I am a big fan of Chinese, I must say. I'm very partial to a sweet and sour chicken.
Oh, yes, definitely. Are you into your sushi?
A little bit. I go to your sushi a couple of times, but I mainly get the chicken katsu curry, so I feel like I'm cheating a little bit with that one.
You need to branch out a bit more, dear.
Do you have a favourite type?
Ooh, see, they do like chicken sushi, so like they've got the fish and the chicken, so.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm just not like the biggest fish fan myself, so. Oh. Now, what could be better than a whole evening infused with gin? Our reporter Sander David enjoyed what Manchester Cathedral had to offer.
Yes guys, welcome back to Quays TV. I'm Sander Seegers and this is the Gin Festival 2019 here at the Manchester Cathedral. We're here to bring you all the latest on what's going on, are people having a good day, what brings them here, what their favourite gins are. Follow us around and we'll have a good time, shall we? Guys, Well, firstly, nice to meet you. I was just wondering, are you enjoying yourself so far at the Gin Festival? Is it your first time here?
Well, I've just had a wonderful fruity raspberry gin, and I love this venue. It's gorgeous. And Carol, it's your first time here.
It's my first time. Amazing building,
Yeah?
great festival.
How are you finding it so far?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's good,
And
yeah?
the gin's amazing.
Yeah. So we're here now with Kaina, one of the event's supervisors of today. Kaina, if we just start off with telling me a little bit about the Gin Society from someone who is in your position and a higher position in the Gin Society.
Okay, so the Gin Society was founded over 3 years ago by friends who had a collective love for gin and wanted to share that with people. We tend to focus on bringing a more intimate gin experience to people. We want to talk to them about their gins, help them pick them, help them decide what they like. All of the core staff here are really passionate about their gins. We all love what we do. We do this nearly every weekend throughout the year. We travel up and down England, supplying people with what we think is a really good evening out.
So do you think that's the lifeblood, that passion for gin? Do you think that really separates the Gin Society from maybe other alcohol-based companies?
Yes, because everybody who is a core member of our team is really passionate about it. We're a small team. We at every event we're enjoying it. We do everything from the setup to the serving of customers to the close down again, and we all really are passionate about gin, the distilling process, the taste process, how it's presented, and we want people to feel the same passion we do.
That was that for the Gin Festival 2019 here in the Manchester Cathedral. We've thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, and I'm sure everyone else is as well, to be honest. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're ever thinking about going to the Gin Festival, they do them every weekend. If you're thinking about it, go for it. You'll have a great experience. And, well, we'll see you next week here on Quays TV.
Now to entertainment, our reporter Olivia Mullally attended the premiere for the new BBC war drama, World on Fire.
World on Fire is a new BBC war drama written by screenwriter Peter Boker. It portrays the lives of ordinary people living in World War II. The drama premieres here tonight in Manchester Cathedral, marking 80 years since the outbreak of World War II.
It's normal. Fear and that. Just got to outrun it.
Peter Boker focuses on the less traditional stories associated with the war.
I wanted to show people who were living with the consequences of big political decisions rather than the people who made the decisions. But the main thing I wanted to do was tell the story from more than one national perspective, so not just the story of England or Britain in the war, but there's a German family, there's a Polish family, there's an American family, and as the series goes on, expand beyond that base, because I think it's important that we remember that this was a war of international cooperation to defeat Nazism, and I think that, you know, is a lesson we should never forget.
He's not like that. You never give up, no? Your character Lois and Connie have a sort of friendship.
Yeah, it's a really lovely friendship. It's actually based on the writer Peter's grandmother and her best friend Anna, and they had a musical duo together that went around the country in clubs and pubs, and Ursa, who plays Connie, is just amazing. So.
In-Betweeners star Blake Harrison explores a less comedic role in this drama.
Maybe sooner than now, sir.
So I play Sergeant Stan Raddings. The rest of the unit kind of look at Harry as kind of someone that hasn't earned his stripes, as it were, and Stan has to kind of step in and be the guy that kind of glues everything together. Otherwise, the morale within the regiment won't really see them through to the end.
Selected members of the public watched the screening and participated afterwards in a Q&A with the cast. For those who haven't watched it, catch the show on Sundays at 9 p.m. Olivia Mullally reporting for Quays News.
And now for the weather with Isabel Blakemore.
Hello and good afternoon on this beautifully sunny day here in Salford. Unfortunately, it's not going to be staying like this for long, as we are expecting rain and cloud to be coming in for the rest of the week, reaching highs of around 14 degrees and lows of around 8, with blustery winds and moderate showers. If you are going out for the rest of the week, be sure to pack an umbrella and a coat, and if you are attending any outdoor events on the weekend, be sure to wrap up warm. That's all from me here. It's Bob Lakemore, Quays News.
That's all from us this week on Quays News.
We'll be back for more news next week, and also make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a great evening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.